Hi people, it's me, Anja. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new recent video. So, the first book on this list is called Ship of Smoke and Steel, written by Django Wexler, I believe. Anyway, this book is a YA fantasy and I ended up giving it 4 stars. It follows Ahsoka, and after her magical abilities all revealed, she is sent on a mission to find a legendary ghost ship. I really enjoyed this book because A, the world building was so well done and so immersive. The action-packed, fast-paced plot was so well done. I really enjoyed Ahsoka's character development, and the sapphic romance was a really nice touch. This is one of those books that I wasn't expecting to be sapphic, you know what I mean? Because I don't think it's marketed as like a sapphic YA fantasy, because it's not romance-driven necessarily, you know what I mean? So I was surprised to find that the romance was sapphic, and I really enjoyed it because the romance was well developed. I really enjoyed the dynamic between the two characters, and it was done so well. So like I said, I gave it 4 stars because I really enjoyed this book. It's so underrated, and for what? I think that people would really enjoy this book because it has great aspects of like great world building, great plot, great characters, and a nice solid romance. So what more do you want, honestly? So with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Land of Cranes, written by Aida Salazar. This book is a middle grade contemporary, and I also gave it 4 stars because it was so good. It follows a young Latinx girl who must find hope and love, even in the darkest of places, which is the family detention center for migrants and refugees. I really enjoyed this book. For somebody who is very lucky and privileged to say that me and my family will never go through something like this, this book was so insightful and educational and entertaining, and it was done so well. I wonder if this author is speaking from her own experiences, because this book was done so well. It was so impactful. It was just really good, and I really got it, you know? Like, it was really so emotionally touching, and it was just done so well, and I highly recommend it. And it's honestly kind of underrated. I didn't see that much hype surrounding it, but I really enjoyed it, and I would say between this book and the author's previous book, I definitely enjoyed this book more. So with that, I highly recommend it if you are a fan of more hard-hitting middle grade contemporaries. The next book on this list is called Ruinsong, written by Julia Ember. For those who don't know, this is a YA sapphic dark fantasy retelling of Phantom of the Opera. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the action-packed, fast-paced plot. I liked the world building. What I didn't absolutely love was the sapphic romance itself. Like, I love the sapphic representation. We love to see it. But the romance on its own and the character development, I felt were kind of underwhelming. You know what I mean? Like, I talked about this when I read These Violent Delights, but I don't like it when, like, for a romance, if the two characters already have a pre-existing relationship prior to the story's beginning. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be introduced to these characters, to their dynamic, as they're being introduced to each other. You know what I mean? And I feel like it kind of ruins their dynamic if they already have a pre-existing relationship prior to the book. But that's just a personal preference. So I think maybe because of that, the romance's development felt kind of like rushed. I don't know how to explain it. But basically, I didn't really like the development, and I didn't also love the two characters individually. So basically, I didn't ship the couple. So that kind of like lowered my rating for me, so that's why I gave this book 3 stars. So with that, I don't really recommend this story, if I'm being honest. But yeah. The next book on this list is called City of Stone and Silence. If you didn't know, this is the sequel to Ship of Smoke and Steel, which I just talked about earlier. So it's YA fantasy. It was great. It was a great sequel. I really enjoyed being immersed back into the world. I really enjoyed the world building, the action-packed, fast-paced plot, the new character development, the new perspectives. Like, it was a solid sequel. However, compared with the first one, I would say that I prefer the first one a little bit more. Maybe it's because with the first one, I was being introduced to the world, you know? And I feel like with this one, the author didn't, like, step up their game as much as they could have, you know what I mean? but I'm still really excited for the third one. The third one comes out the 5th of January, which is so soon. So I'll be able to finish this trilogy really soon, because I'm hoping that I'll get to the third one next month, and I'm really excited for it, because I don't know how this author is going to wrap everything up, because he has so many things to wrap up. You know what I mean? And I love these characters. I love the romance. Like I said, this book was so good. It was a very good, solid sequel. But since it wasn't better than the first one, I would say that this book is probably not going to show up on my favorite sequels of 2020 list. You know what I mean? So with that, I did end up giving it 4 stars, but I did prefer the first one. The last book on this list is called The Neville Tilting World. This book is YA fantasy, and I really enjoyed it, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. So it follows 2 daughters of 2 goddesses who are both desperate to heal their broken world. I really enjoyed this book because A, the plot was so well done. It was action-packed and fast-paced. We loved to see it. The world building was so well done. I loved it. This book is so underrated, honestly, and for what? Because it's so good. I'm so excited to read the sequel, because this cliffhanger ending leaves me wondering what's going to happen next, because I literally have no idea. Anyway, the characters were so well done, so well developed, and my favorite part about the story, well, my favorite element, I guess, is the diversity among the cast of characters, because this book has so much diversity in it, and diversity is so rare to find in YA fantasy, but especially intersectional diversity like this story had. So the story had sapphic characters, POC characters, and a disabled character. Like, those 3 things together is like so rare to find in anything, but especially YA fantasy. You know what I mean? So basically, I would highly recommend this story if you like YA fantasy, especially if you like underrated YA fantasy, because sometimes, you know, really popular YA fantasy books tend to disappoint me, but this book did not disappoint. It was absolutely so wonderful, and it deserves so much more hype than it receives. Basically, like I said before, I am so excited for the sequel, because I have no idea what's going to happen next. Also, this series is a duology, so I don't know how the author is going to wrap everything up, but basically I'm so excited. I think I'm going to read it in the next few weeks. I put it on hold immediately, so I'm so excited to get to it. So with that, I would highly recommend this book, because it's absolutely so good. So in conclusion, the highest rating book on this list was definitely The Neville Tilting World. Even though I rated the majority of books on this list 4 stars, that's the one that I enjoyed the most. And the one that I enjoyed the least was unfortunately Ruinsong. So aside from Ruinsong, I would highly recommend all the books on this list, because they're all so good. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below why you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!